Now let's go ahead and make this look like a sketch. You remember from the animation that I showed you, it went from a white background to a sketch sort of looking elevation and then into this one. So we need to do the sketch. So in this second video, I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing we need to do is create a new layer. Right now, the only thing we have on layer lines, and let me turn off background, it looks like this. Remember when I told you when you see the checkers, it means it's there's nothing behind it. So right now it's just lines, right? So in reality, there's nothing solid in between the lines. It's just like if you did you're doing lines on a clear paper, on a clear, or in a window, let's say. And sorry, you drew this like in a window, clear window. So there's nothing, you can see through it, in other words, all right? Of course, we put the background so it's easier for us to see it. So with this in mind, right? With this in mind, that it's like a clear layer that only has lines that you can see through. Now we're gonna do the sketch, but we're not gonna do it on this layer. We're gonna do it on a new layer. So in other words, we're gonna create another empty layer, another clear layer in which we're gonna draw, okay, the sketch. So we're not gonna do it on this one. If you try to do your sketch on this one, you're gonna mess up. You're adding lines to these lines, and we don't want that. So for that reason, we're gonna do a new layer. To do a new layer, you come right here towards the bottom, or you can come over here to layer, new layer, or just click right here, and it gives us a new layer. Okay, it puts it on top, and again, let me turn this off. So we see that there's nothing on that layer, just a clear layer ready for us to put information here. That's both of them open, and then that's with background. Okay, so this one we're gonna call it sketch. So just double click on layer 1 and call it sketch. All right, so now we're gonna trace very freely, not too detailed, so we can make a sketch out of this elevation. All right, so oh, by the way, if you want to zoom in just like Illustrator, you can press Alt, and then with the wheel on your mouse you can zoom in and zoom out while pressing Alt. Okay, notice that also you can copy with Photoshop. Alt, see how that changes just like an Illustrator. See that icon change it? So same thing like an Illustrator, you can make a copy just by pressing Alt, but we're not going to do that right now. So don't move this layer. Okay, make sure you don't move it. So matter of fact, you can lock it if you want to. Go lines and then click on lock. And we're going to be in layer 1. Now layer 1, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing a sketch. We're going to trace this like if we're doing with pencil. So for that reason, we're going to go to pencil. So go to your, these are your tools. All right. Right now we're just using the move tool, and actually we're not moving anything yet. So, but by default it's selected here. I want you to go to this icon here with a brush, and if you press it, there's one that says pencil. So we're going to select the pencil tool. Now with the pencil tool, we can write. It's just like a pencil, right? Yeah, do that. So what we're going to do with the pencil tool, we're going to trace these lines again very, very freely. Like if it was a sketch, like if you actually were sketching this elevation on a sheet of paper or a napkin or whatever. So for that reason, try to keep this is the size of the brush. I think 1 is fine. By default, I think should be 1. Okay. So I'm going to grab that pencil, make sure the brush is at 1. And if it's not, you can change it here on the size by clicking here on this arrow. And again, I'm going to zoom in. And again, very freely, I'm going to start just random. Well, not random, but like if it was a sketch. So try to just do some lines here. Like if you're actually just sketching this elevation. Okay, and I'm not gonna do the whole thing because I think I'm just gonna do a section because I don't want the video to get too long. Okay, so just like that, like if you're actually sketching, and if you go like that, that's fine. That's what we want. We want some, of course, don't go too crazy and put it right in the middle, but start sketching just like lines like this. Don't try to go straight. That's the whole purpose. We want for it to look like a sketch. Also, try to go over the lines 1 or 2 times. Don't press the mouse and leave it and do everything at once, because if you mess up, you try to undo, it's going to do the whole thing. So just a random lines like this. Okay, all we want is for it to look like a sketch. And also here on the detail, don't go very detailed. For example, maybe you want to do just again, this is like a primary idea that you had. That's what we're trying to accomplish for it to look like. So maybe this is going to be, it was just an idea that you had, maybe some windows there, and maybe a door right here, very, very, very freely. And I don't know if you can hear the mouse clicking. I just do it in different sections. Maybe knob there, and then you can draw me. And I have a canopy right here, like that. Maybe with two, and then these are gonna be the. And again, very freely. Imagine you're just drawing a sketch. Okay. Now again, we are doing all this on our sketch layer, the empty layer that we have. Okay. If you make a mistake, for example, you did something like that looks totally off, well, you can go to Edit, Undo, or Control Z. That goes back only once. If you're gonna keep on going back, then it's gonna be step backward, and you can keep on pressing that. I think it takes you back 20 steps. Okay. Now the idea is for it to look like this. Let me turn off lines, like that. I might need more lines. Where's the pencil? I think I needed some lines here, and maybe a little bit darker. And again, the idea is for it to look like that was the idea, the first idea that you had, and you sketched it on a sheet of paper to show someone your idea, or you were just contemplating how the elevation should look, and this is what you came with. That's the whole idea for it to look on the transition. It goes from an idea to lines, and then to shadows, and then to the rendering, and then to the sign. Well, the sky, the people, and then the sign. Okay, so maybe something like this. Okay, very generic, very generic. That's what we want. And then just continue. I'm gonna just continue through here. Put some lines there, and make it look like a sketch. Okay, and again, we're doing all this on a different layer. So lines there. I'm gonna do some lines there, line there, line there, line there. Maybe this line here, going down like that. Lines right here at the bottom, like that. And then the windows. Let's say I have a window there. And trying to do it fast, so take your time, but again, don't make it look too perfect. That's not the idea. The idea is for it to look like a sketch. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here, and you guys can continue and do the whole elevation, because I don't want you to just see me doing this. Oops. Okay. So the idea is for it to look, again, I'm gonna zoom out, like a sketch, like that. Okay, so trace the whole thing, and I'm gonna do that, but I'm not in the video. Trace the whole thing, and so now we have two layers. The sketch layer, we're gonna have the sketch layer once we finish, and we're gonna have the lines layer. So now we can see the transition is gonna go from there to there. Okay, so we'll stop it like I'll stop it here. Go ahead and do the whole elevation sketch. Make sure it's a sketch layer. All right, and we'll continue with on the next video.